It was around 11 p.m. one day at the end of December 1972. On the road from Nyon to Hanoi, there was a young man, Lâm, in his 30s, riding a city bike alone in the night relentlessly. The coldness of the north winter made the atmosphere unusually hot and dense. Lâm breath was like a spread of wavy fog in front of him. To protect himself from the frosty cold, Lâm wore an old patterned cotton waistcoat with the sewing path already turned pale green. Lâm whistled faintly, hoping to dispel the isolating feeling on the empty road. The beverage stalls were flickered with oil lamps, which at 7 p.m. when Lâm passed by were covered completely by several bamboo panels. During the war period in the north, there was hardly any light. Hanoi was engulfed in darkness daily at 7 p.m. Only the sound of frogs and insects remained steady around Lâm. Suddenly, at the three-way intersection, a young lady with a plastic knitting basket on her hand waved and gently asked Lâm for a ride. The lady had shaggy long dark hair and pale olive skin, like she had not left home for a long time. Lâm hesitated, but he was allured by her gorgeous eyes and her plum red lips, making him stop before he even noticed. She said that she was from the nearby village and she needed to go to Hanoi for urgent matters. Lâm did not trust the lady yet, but right now it would be great to have a companion, so Lâm happily let the lady sit on the bike back seat and intentionally pedaled more leisurely. They both started their stories. The lady told Lâm that she lived at number 44, Quan Thánh Street. Her whole family evacuated all the way to Sơn Tây, and she went to the family's house in the village. Today, she had to go back to the city because of urgent work. Lâm said that he was part of the Hanoi Civil Defense officials and had a duty here this afternoon. The two enthusiastically chatted and laughed, making the distance seem short. After a while, Lâm felt the lady huddling slightly, trembling in the back. He remembered that the lady was wearing a thin braided white shirt only. Lâm hurriedly stopped the bike, gallantly took his waistcoat off, gave it to the lady, and made an excuse of being too hot while riding the bike. The lady shyly put the waistcoat on, and they continued the journey. Lâm excitedly told many stories about his life, and only heard soft yes sounds from the back. All of a sudden, there was no reply at all from the lady. Lâm repeated, but heard nothing in return. He quickly turned back, worrying that something was wrong with the lady. Lâm felt a cold breeze going through his spine. The lady was no longer there. She was gone. Why did the lady jump off while the bike was still moving? And when did it happen? All of Lâm body hair wanted to stand up. His stomach was churning. He took a long breath, then immediately drove his bike fast to Hanoi. He was finally relieved as soon as he saw houses with flickering oil lamps in the close distance. In the time of war, the warm coat was an expensive asset. Although Lâm was unsure of the information the hitchhiking lady gave out, he still cycled to the address the next morning. Unexpectedly, the address was real. The house was quite big, but it did not seem like anyone had been here for a while. Spider webs everywhere, dry leaves on the ground, and the wall full of dust. Lâm stood in front of the door, wondering if he should knock. "What are you doing? What do you want?" said a hoarse voice behind him. Lâm turned back and saw an old man with a grumble face full of sorrow. "Sorry, I'm just looking for the address 44 Quan Thánh Street. Is this the house?" Lum paused, thinking that he might get the wrong house. No? Yes, I'm the owner here. How can I help you? The old man did not even look at Lum. Lum explained his situation and described the face of the hitchhiking lady. The old man suddenly stopped. Please let me see her. I won't cause any trouble, Lum insisted. The old man calmly pushed the door open. Entering the house, Lum's soul seemed to jump out of his body. On the altar right in the middle of the house, even though the smoke of the incense blurred a bit, he could clearly see the photo of the lady, with the same face, the same hair, and the same smile. It was the hitchhiking lady. Lum suddenly plopped down on the bench close to the wall near the door. I'm her dad. She died in a coach accident more than 2 years ago on the road where you just told me about. The old man wiped some tears out of his eyes. Since then, sometimes her friends had come to light her incense stick, and sometimes strangers too. Some of them were nice, and some came to crash the place because they thought my daughter teased them. I thought you were one of them. Please, I don't think she meant any harm. She must be cold and lonely up there. The old man could not hold his tears in anymore. I'm too weak now. If you don't mind, please help me light some incense there for her when you pass by. Lum did not reply. He just approached the altar, lit 3 incense sticks for the lady, and then hurried home. From that day, although Lum never revisited the old man, he still remembered to bring some incense sticks with him in case he somehow passed by that street again. He did not forget his code, but wondered if he dared to ask for it back when he met her again.